Hey guys, what's going on? It's Synchro Fanatic here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the new Morphtronic Reveals from the Pyrexene Duelist pack over in the OCG. Been really excited to see these cards, and we're also going to be talking about the power tool that was revealed a few weeks back. But without further ado, let's just get right into it. The first card is Morphtronic Telephon. It's an Earth Machine Tuner effect monster, level 1, 100 attack, 100 defense. Gains this effect based on its battle position, so the standard Morphtronic affair. Attack position, once per turn you can roll a 6-sided die, and if you do, gain life points equal to the result times 100. Then you can special summon one Morphtronic monster from the graveyard whose level is equal to or lower than the result. So this is Self-On but for the graveyard, which is pretty good. Like, it's kind of what it needs, because Self-On is already doing enough excavation from the deck, so being able to recycle your Morphtronics that are gone, because you're probably doing a lot of link summoning with this, is pretty good. The fact it's a tuner is also pretty nice, because it means you can go into Hulk plays, but it also means you can use it to tinker around with your levels for your higher end synchro plays, so that's really good. Defense position, once per turn you can roll a 6-sided die, excavate cards in the top of your deck equal to the result, and if you do, so you can send one excavated Morphtronic card to the graveyard, place the rest on the top or bottom of your deck in any order. So I like the fact you get to put them on whatever you want, so you can put your Morphtronics you don't want on the bottom of your deck, and you can put the ones you do want for Self-On on the top. So that has synergy with its own effect, because it sends them to the graveyard, reses itself, it's pretty good. The scary thing about this card, though, is very much like Self-On, it is not a hard once per turn on either effect, it is a soft once per turn. Which means if you get multiple of these in circulation, you can keep rezzing them, keep looping, keep doing your thing, and people have already discovered, like, oh, Cannon Soldier loops, because apparently the TCG don't get the memo that Cannon Soldier existing is just not a good idea anymore, and they were like, oh, well, it'll be fine, we'll just leave it alone, like, what are they going to do? They've already done it once, they're not going to do it again, they've had their fun. But, yeah, so don't see how viable. I don't know how viable that's going to be. Like, again, we're only looking at these just on the census of a Morphtronic deck itself, because no one was going to be like heard Cannon Soldier loops and, you know, be looked at with thumbs up saying, yeah, that's what Morphtronics are supposed to do. But again, waffling on now. Let's go back to the cards. Gadget Gamer, Earth Machine effect monster, level 3, 300 attack, 300 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. When this card is normal summoned, you can add one level 1 machine monster from your deck to your hand. So that has some synergy with other machine decks as well, but mainly we're going to look at it from Morphtronic. So Self-On and Telephon are searchable, which is just great. You want to see those cards in circulation more. And 1-for-1 is at 1, which is one of the best enablers for those cards, so this is a nice backup plan. But the second effect, you can tribute this card, special summon one Morphtronic monster from your hand, then you can special summon one Gadget Holland from your hand or deck. So you can add the Morphtronic monster, special summon that Morphtronic monster, and get Gadget Holder from the deck or hand. Which, for those of you that don't know, Gadget Holder was a really shit Morphtronic boss monster all the way back in Crossroads of Chaos when Morphtronics were when they debuted. Level 6. Pitch a number of Morphtronics from your hand, this card gains a permanent attack boost. It would happen to show up once in the anime, and like everyone knew it was shit, it was just pack filler basically. But with this now, it actually has a use because you can special summon it from the deck and use it to synchro climb into your power tool monster. So they actually found a use for the fucking thing, which is crazy. So really cool card. I actually really like that card. I think it's very, very good for what it is. So that's 2 good cards off the back. Like, this is looking very promising, I think, as you can agree. But the most interesting bit is we're going to get to the Morphtronic Synchro Monster, which I believe is the first one. But the actual artwork for this card looks like Leo and Luna from the show as well, so points for that. Level 4 Earth Machine Synchro Effect Monster, Morphtronic Earphon. Attack 1200, Defense 1800. 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner monsters, so generic, which is great. You can only use the first and second effect once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can target one face-up monster on the field. It is treated as a tuner this turn, so target itself, it becomes a tuner. Target someone else, it becomes a tuner. It's pretty useful. You can target, in second effect, you can target one synchro monster on the field, equip this card from your field or graveyard to it. Now, as we'll get to later, this has synergy with the new power tool we get, but I'll get to that when I get to that. Number 3, a monster equipped with this card can make a second attack on monsters during each battle phase. I really like this card. This is a great utility synchro, which you don't see very often anymore. Well, you do see it occasionally, but then Konami get like, oh, it's too good and ban it. Looks at Denglong and Ebe, for examples. This is really cool. The fact you can equip it from graveyard, I think, is big. If it was just from field, I think it'd be kind of like, whatever, so we just get to equip it once and that's it. But the fact you can recycle it from the graveyard at any point is fantastic. So I really do like this card. The fact it can only attack on monsters with it, that's multi-attack, kind of sucks, but I get it when you can equip it from the graveyard. They needed some sort of power balance. So, 3 good cards so far. I'm liking this. So, the next is a normal spell, Morphtronic Convert unit. You can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. Target 1 machine monster you control, apply this effect based on its battle position. Attack position, special summon one Morphtronic monster with a different name from your deck, then place the targeted monster on top of the deck. Insane. Defense position. Change it to attack position, and if you do, special summon one level 4 lower machine monster from your hand. So both of those effects are really, really good. And I like that you get the option of what you pick. You can only activate one per turn, so you're only going to get that one per turn, but this card is fantastic because you can special summon Self-Harm from the deck, take that Morphtronic that's on the field, put it back on the top of the deck, and if you need it again, you just special summon it back out. If it's another Self-Harm or a Telephone, you just get the other one and you just start doing plays like that. So that's a fantastic effect. And the second effect, being able to change a defense position monster to attack position and get a special summon from your hand, you can send Self-On to defense position or whatever Morphtronic you want to use, and then change it back to attack, get an extender, and if it was a Self-On, for example, you summoned off defense, change it to attack, it gets its effect again. So very powerful spell card. That's 4 good cards. Like they are on a roll here. And we have a new equip spell, Life Extreme. Equip only to an Earth Synchro monster, of course. If the equipped monster battles an opponent's monster, that opponent's monster loses 1500 attack during damage calculation only. Very good. Yeah, just means it's going to win most of its fights. Second effect, once per turn, if the battle position of a monster is changed, you can target one card on the field, destroy it. Targeting sucks, but popping a card is always valuable, so I'll take that. That's a good effect. Number 3, if this card is sent from the spell and trap zone to the graveyard, you contribute one Power Tool Synchro monster, special summon one Lifestream Dragon from your extra deck. This is treated as a Synchro summon. I'm not sure how I feel about that one. There's probably some synergy I don't understand off the top of my head that I'm going to have to think about how this works, but that does seem like the biggest stinker of those effects. But ignoring that last one, which there is probably some synergy there, I'm completely missing off the top of my head. The actual Morphtronic gurus will probably, if they're watching this, will probably be happy to educate me on why that's a good effect, if it is a good effect. But with my limited knowledge on Morphtronics, I don't know how good that effect is. But the first and second effect, pretty good for a standard equip spell. And then we go into reprints and stuff like Power Tool, Morphtronic Self-On, yada yada yada. So let's talk about the new Power Tool boss monster, which is Power Tool Braver Dragon, which it can be summoned with Livestream, as Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization has liked to inform me. Shout outs to them for providing these translations and scanlations and for all their hard work. So Power Tool Braver Dragon, Earth Machine Synchro effect, level 9, 2500, 2300 defense. Generics requirements, so 1 tuner, 1 non-tuner Synchro monster. You only use the first and second effect once per turn. If this card is special summoned, notice it said special summoned, you can equip up to 3 equip spells with different names from your deck and or graveyard to this card. Pretty good, pretty good. And that's kind of like the whole gimmick. Instead of just adding them to your hand, you can just equip them from the deck, which is pretty good. And if they were in the graveyard, you could. During the main phase, quick effect. You can send one of your equipped spell cards equipped to this card to the graveyard, then target one effect monster on the field, either change its battle position or negate its effects until the end of this turn. This is a really cool effect because it has positive pushes for your board state with the swapping of the battle positions and stuff, but it also is just flat out negation for your opponent's board. So whatever effect you use, you'll be getting value out of it because you don't necessarily need to negate the monster. If you have the new equip spell, you just swap the battle position of one of your Morphtronics and get to pop a card because of Extreme. So I do understand where they're going with this, and I think these new cards are very, very, very good. Like, this is going to make Morphtronics a deck with a lot of potential, and it had a lot of potential already with Self-On shenanigans, but these new cards on their own, Power Tool Braver Dragon is not the craziest synchro I've ever seen, but it's definitely a good enough to be a good boss monster. The new equip is probably the worst card of the bunch, but that's only because the other cards are so damn good by comparison that I don't think they really stack up. Like, it doesn't really stack up. The Synchron's probably the next because it doesn't really do anything like crazy good, but just the fact it keeps enabling Power Tool Braver and can be its own tuner, it can make itself a tuner, makes it really good, and it gives Power Tool Braver multiple attacks. So this is definitely a really good wave of support for Morphtronics. I'm very excited to see where it goes. Off the top of my head, I'm doing some combos in my head with Self-On and Telephone. Like, there's a lot of potential here. I don't know if this is going to be like tier 1 meta or anything. We don't really care about that. We just care about if this deck is now like really gets a big boost in power, and 100% yes. Gadget Gamer is great. Telephone is great. The spell card, what was the spell card called? Where is it? Morphtronic Convert Unit, great card. The Synchro is pretty good. The Equip spell is a very good complement to Power Tool Braver's effect. So, yeah, really good wave of support. I'm very interested to see what these cards are going to do in the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG when they come over, whenever that is. But yeah, I think they did Morphtronics justice, which is great to see, because that's one of those decks that you just kind of think like nothing of it. Then you see Cellphone keep doing the same thing over and over again. And you start seeing like, hang on, that's not a once per turn, is it? Like I said, the only thing I'm kind of concerned about is the Telephone being soft once per turn. But hey ho, if that causes issues, they can deal with it later. But anyway, I've been the Synchro Fanatic, and these have been the Morphtronic cards. As again, thank you to Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization for the translations. And I will catch you in the next video, guys. See you later.